The fiends sweep the block with a magnet for shell case. The numbers sound good, then it's gel bait. My rhyme book from Hogwarts, read from this, then appears is safe. The top wizard, I'm the one that kept all the spells safe. Got this in braille, my blind fans get the stealth face. You niggas need hugs. Punching that clock made me responsible to the plug. Talk to my girl just like our living room bug. I ran that red light, now we closer than blood. Yeah. German engineering, 200 on the dash with the handbrake. Blue strips, crispy edges, grandmama pancakes. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Lord Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, I gotta let you know this video was brought to you by BetUS. Big BetUS in the building, bringing you all the best bets for the Super Bowl, man. You definitely make sure you gotta make sure to tap in with BetUS, man. NFL bets, whatever you got going on. But the big game, you know what I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, you definitely want to tap in with them as well, man. On your first deposit, you're getting 150%. Your next two deposits after that, 125%. You know what I'm saying? Tap in with BetUS, best betting variety in the business, quick and easy withdrawal process. And remember to always gamble responsibly. So listen, man, let's talk about it, man. Also, thank y'all, man, for going on the Even platform and grabbing the Broken Crayon Still colors. You know, with your purchase of $10 or more, puts you in the running to, you know what I mean, get some game tickets with me, sit at a game with me, preferably opening day. And we are one game away from dropping a banner during opening day. You could attend that monumental celebration with me, man. Grab the art. Let me know what you think. $10 or more, that puts you in the running for that contest as well. So a lot of people seem to be confused about a couple things when talking about the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs matchup right here, man. First of all, I got to start by saying this. If it ain't you, mind your business. Mind your business. Everybody want to go try to sick the Kansas City Chiefs on us right now because nobody else could do nothing with us, man. We relish the opportunity, man. We relish the opportunity to run it back against the Kansas City Chiefs. This is not something we running from. We knew it would eventually have to come down to this for real, for real. This is a real rivalry that's budding between the Philadelphia Eagles and Kansas City Chiefs. Lamar couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Josh Allen couldn't do it. So Jalen going to have to be the one to do it. You know what I mean? We talk so much about the accomplishments of Jalen Hurts and all the other guys on his roster, but that's not what this video is about. We know what we made of. We know what we made of. But it's a dragon that need to be slayed, and it's the Kansas City Chiefs, man. I want to talk about a real alarming difference that a lot of people are going to talk about, but I feel like it's only right that I give it to y'all on my platform today as well. Let's talk about the difference between the defensive line that went out there and the defensive line that's going out there. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about that for a second, because a lot of people don't want to acknowledge the fact that we had a 30-something-year-old Fletcher Cox, I think a 36-year-old Ndamukong Suh. Listen, the youngest player on the defensive line for the Philadelphia Eagles during the last Super Bowl run was Hassan Reddick at 28 years old. You know what I mean? A lot of people were suspecting we got rid of Hassan Reddick at the beginning of this season because he was old. Because he was old. Now the oldest player on our line is 25 years old, I believe. If BG comes back and gets some meaningful minutes, you know what I'm saying? And he will be sprinkled into that equation as well. But this could be an unpopular opinion. Y'all know BG, my favorite player of all time. But is it worth even bringing Brandon Graham back with how great this defense is playing right now? You know what I mean? In terms of giving him meaningful snaps. Now, if Brandon could go, of course, he got to suit up. He got to be a part of what's going on. But last year, or 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, we lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, we had some Lincoln Navigators chasing Patrick Mahomes around. Now there's a bunch of fast-moving Ferraris. It's a bunch of Maseratis. This guy's jumping fresh out the gate. Nolan Smith, you know what I'm saying? Jalen Carter. Jordan Davis just had a sack on Jaden Daniels. The defensive line is completely different, man. Completely different. Now let's talk about the linebacker room. We lost Nakobe Dean, who was a huge part of our defense, but you still got an all-pro this time in the linebacker sector in Zach Bond. Last year, or the other year in the Super Bowl, it was Kazir White and it was TJ Edwards. Zach Bond has put together, you know what I mean, one of the best linebacking seasons that I've seen in the last 10 years probably. I got to look at Fred Warner's, one of Fred Warner's great seasons and see if Zach Bond's is better. That's what we're now measuring this to, man. People are saying Zach Bond's season is reminiscent of Luke Kuechly's Defensive Player of the Year award. Zach Bond should be the Defensive Player of the Year. That's how good of a season that he's having. James Bradbury started last year. Now you got Quinyon Mitchell on the other side of Slay. You have Cooper DeJean. You have elite slot level. You have elite slot play this year. I think Avonte Maddox was getting, you know what I mean, the bulk of them snaps. You got C.J. Gardner-Johnson back there. You got Reed Blankenship. You know what I'm saying? You have the pieces and the tools that can make this thing look different. And the biggest part of this is you have Vic Fangio, who has collective data on, you know, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Collective data on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he 0-8 against Patrick Mahomes, but he got that data. And now he got the players that can play the scheme that he knows how to, you know what I mean? He got the #1 defense this time. It's different this time. It's different this time. It's not the same thing. Oh, and we have Saquon Barkley. We have Saquon Barkley. We had Miles Sanders. You know what I mean? Miles Sanders, I think, broke his hand on the first play of the game. Miles Sanders virtually gave us nothing, which resulted in us getting into a shootout. But you know what I mean? We ain't cry. We ain't complain about that. We went out there. Jalen showed why he deserved to get paid. And now Jalen just showed this year why he was a great... Jalen is giving you the return on investment. This is the return on investment. You know what I mean? Usually when you pay a player, they don't get back to the Super Bowl. They don't get back to the Super Bowl. They don't. I think Jalen Hurts might got more NFC Championship appearances than Aaron Rodgers. Usually when you pay a guy, they don't get back to this level, man. They don't get back to this level. You got Saquon Barkley now. You got a Chiefs defense who ain't give up 100 yards on the ground to nobody in the postseason and God knows how long. Something got to give. Something got to give. When your best player is your most hungry player, that's a recipe for success. Saquon Barkley is our most hungry player. Who would have thought that on a team with A.J. Brown, who has 12, you know what I'm saying, 12 postseason games under his belt. I think that's like a rookie. I think it's like a record. A team with A.J. Brown, Smitty, all of these great players all around you, Dallas Goedert, and we would say none of these guys are the best player on the team. Lane Johnson's around you. You know what I'm saying? Lane Johnson, third Super Bowl appearance. None of these guys are the best player on the team. It goes to one man, Saquon Barkley. He's the hungriest one. I don't think many more people want it more than Saquon Barkley, to be honest. This ain't the same Eagles team. This ain't the same Chiefs team. This ain't the same Chiefs team. We got to be disciplined, man. We can't leave nothing into the eyes of the referees. We can't. We can't leave nothing to chance. We got to execute our game plan. This is why I'm going to tell you that there's one thing that worries me about this game. It's Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore worries me because Jonathan Gannon was taking interviews for Arizona. I think the game was played in Arizona. Taking interviews for Arizona, clearly wasn't focused, couldn't get a stop in the whole second half. Kellen Moore is taking interviews for New Orleans. The game is in New Orleans. I need Kellen Moore to be focused. I think that it's a selfish move for any coordinator to be taking an interview while you should be preparing for the Super Bowl. Kellen Moore need to be worried about what should I call in these situations. Do you see what they did to Josh Allen on that play where everybody want to blame Dalton Kincaid? They weren't prepared for it. They weren't prepared for it. The quarterback wasn't prepared for it. The quarterback didn't recognize that. That ain't something they went over. Josh Allen didn't do his due diligence to check into something else, to slide protection. They were not prepared. We got the better roster on both sides of the ball. The only thing that could blunder this for us is coaching. That's the only thing that could mess this up for us. We don't need Nick Sirianni. You know what I'm saying? We don't need Nick Sirianni to go out there and try to be the smartest man on the field. We don't need Kellen Moore to not be focused, abandoning a run, doing this, doing that. We don't need those guys to do that. This is not the game to forget you have Saquon Barkley. Kellen Moore would not be considered for a head coaching opportunity if he wasn't in Philadelphia. It's only fitting that Kellen Moore finishes this chapter the best way he can, because I'm looking at Kellen Moore sideways if I'm planning on hiring him if he go out there and have a bad performance. I'm looking at him sideways. I truly am, man. It's different this time around. We're better from top to bottom, and we just showed you in many ways that we're hungrier, we're prepared, we're focused. I heard in the press conference, Nick Sirianni said that the work is already done. The film is the game plan is 80% done. This is 2 days after putting belt to ass to DC. The game plan is 90% done. See you in New Orleans.